Okay, just heading out for a little spin on the K here. Let's see how we do tonight. I've just done an oil change. Replaced the air filter, inflated the tires. What else did I do? Replaced the oil filter, air filter, oil, tires, tire check. What else? Yeah, still got to do the rear drive. That's the one outstanding thing. Oh yeah, drained the oil condensate tube, which was full of, I got about 8 ounces of oil out of that, which worried me a little bit. But then I realized that the seller told me this bike had fallen over. I think it was one of the reasons he was selling it. he dropped it trying to maneuver it in his driveway. Very, very little damage, just a few minor scratches, but basically I think it kind of put him off the bike. But of course, if the bike is on its side, quite a lot of oil can get into that upper air chamber. Give you the idea that you might have the dreaded cracked piston problem that apparently some of these Ks can get. So you don't have a cracked piston if your bike's been on its side. Actually, let's do this. That was bad, but you know, it is what it is. Very bright. So I'm really starting to like this bike. I've had it for a few weeks now. I posted another video which for some reason that mystifies me has had over 500 views already. I'm not really sure why. I didn't think it was a very good video. But it was actually my own personal recording of my first few seconds riding a BMW K1600 and moving to that from an F800 ST 2010 model to a 2016 K1600 GT. That's what this is. Love this bike now. I find it very easy to ride. I mean, you know, it's a huge bike. There's no question. It's a big bike. Massive amounts of power, which I'm very wary of at the moment because I'm still getting used to the bike. But yeah, it's awesome, and it rides like a new bike. And let's see, I took an air filter out of there earlier. K&N, I don't like K&N filters. You know, you may get a tiny little bit more power, but if you ever watch the Project Farm channel, the guy tested air filters, and yeah, K&N lets in a little bit more air, but they do that at the expense of letting in more dirt as well. And I would like to, you know, make this machine last. I don't want dirt getting into my engine for the sake of 0.1 or 0.2 of a second faster to 60 miles an hour, whatever it is. It really isn't much. I mean, if you really want more power, that's probably, you know, not an ideal way to go about it. So I don't particularly like riding into the sun like this, but I'm doing it because I want to get a little ride in before dusk, and the sun is sinking low in the sky, and I'm trying to get up to Page Mill Road here, which has some fun twisties. Blinding. If you have a view of my tank on the camera, it's because I'm tilting my head down, because I don't actually have a sun visor or sunglasses at this particular point, so it's kind of annoying to have that right in my eyes. Tilting my head down to use the top of my helmet as a shade. Yeah, massive power and torque on this thing. I mean, you know, what are we doing? We're doing, according to that, ooh, yikes, I'm a little fast. You probably don't want to know. It's a little over the speed limit. So easy to go over the speed limit on this thing. I was about almost at 90 miles an hour there without realizing it. Just following the other cars. And yakking away instead of looking at my speedometer. I slowed down a little. They're all speeding. That is basically, I go by the GPS. I think it's more accurate than the speedometer. GPS says 74 right now. But you feel like you're hardly moving on this thing. You really do. It's incredible. And I mean, there's just so, I mean, that's just touching the throttle. There's just so much torque and power in this thing. It's incredible. I'm sure it would go well over 100 miles an hour if I didn't care about my license. Okay. I'm trying to squeeze a ride in before dark, and I don't have a lot of time. Alright, 1 mile. 1 mile to my turn. Terrible. Terrible. Sun in my eyes. Okay. Okay. It was quite warm today in the Bay Area here, California. It's cooling down rapidly. Now I find that most of the time, doesn't matter what gear you're in with this bike, but it will happily take corners, you know, even quite sharp ones, in third gear, I discovered. You know, without even, you know, hinting at chugging or... it's just effortless. Everything with this bike is effortless and smooth. It's so smooth as well. Damn sun in my eyes again. I mean, it just handles beautifully. I mean, you know, this bike is capable of going much faster than this through these curves. I am still very cautious with it simply because it has so much torque and power. You know, it takes just a little bit of finessing, should I say, on the throttle. But yeah, it's an amazing machine. Very smooth though, and you know, it does have traction control, so you know there's really no danger of you dumping it because you hit the throttle hard. Lean sensitive traction control, I believe, and lean sensitive ABS. So impressive stuff from BMW. Oh, that sun, super annoying. I can't see the road at all here. Oh, there we go. The steepness of this climb probably doesn't show in the video, but boy, I used to do this on a bicycle, and you really notice it on a bicycle, I can tell you. It's quite a steep climb on a bike. But for this machine, nothing. It could do it with a passenger and a pile of bags, I'm sure, without even batting an eye, without even flinching. And again, you know, the bike is way better than I am. But yeah, I think I've had it for about just over 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks in the weekend, and yeah, 3 weeks. So I've had probably a dozen rides on it, including one that was over 100 miles, two that were over 100 miles. And so yeah, I'm gradually getting a feel for it. Definitely more of a handful than my 800, but it's a very pleasant handful. As they say, it's a nice problem to have, you know, too much power. Yeah, I don't know why someone puts K&N on a bike like this. Like it doesn't have enough power, really? And you need an extra 0.1 of a second to 60 miles an hour. And for that you mortgage your engine's future? No, thank you. Nice of him to let me by. Although, really not going that much faster than him. Well, I guess maybe I am. Alright, this is a nasty turn coming up. One that I'm getting better at. The test is always to stay on your side of the yellow line, even when there's no cars coming the other way. Very good practice. Because one of those days, if you're not taking that, it's very sharp and very steep, and if you wander across the yellow line, sure enough, one day there will be a car coming down. So yeah. But basically it's like doing a steep, slow U-turn. There's another one, not quite as bad, but we have lots of twisties here in the Bay Area to practice on. I think it's a good area for cycling and bikes in general. Great road surfaces, lots of twisty roads and steep climbs, and you know, for not so important on a motorcycle, but for a bicycle, you know, steep climbs keep you fit. And you know, the twisties very popular here with motorcyclists. One road in particular gets hammered all the time. That's Highway 9, which is a much faster road than this. This is yeah, you know, I'm fully admit that I'm a slow guy around all these curves. But you know, even on Highway 9 is there's guys doing that on sport bikes at ridiculous speeds. It's much faster than this. This is, I don't think even you know, racing guys are going to go 100+ miles an hour on this road. Whoa, that's right in my eyes. I can't see anything. God. Sun is getting low in the sky. Cannot see the road here properly. Okay, there. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, we're going around the curve here. The bike, I put AMSOIL in it after reading a lot of reviews. I used to use other engine oils. AMSOIL is supposed to be the best in all the tests, and this does seem to have, you know, one of the things that when I got the bike, one of the things I noticed about it was quite a noisy transmission. And this bike, the engine oil is shared by the transmission, so the oil is lubricating both. And I do believe the engine was always smooth. Let me say that right up front. I do believe the transmission seems, I'm seeing a bigger difference in the transmission. It seems quieter, and dare I say it, smoother. You know, the jury's still out, but I think there's a definite improvement. Running 10W40 AMSOIL, which, you know, motorcycles 100% synthetic. It really, I think it it really seems like there's less one of the things I didn't like, you know, was there seemed to be a lot of transmission noise with this particular bike. You know, whirring kind of sound, and that seems to be gone at the moment. I'm not noticing it at all. Mind you, under load, it was just when the bike was coasting. I'm sure there was some lash in the drivetrain. So yeah, we're climbing a hill here, so yeah, I wouldn't expect to hear it here anyway, but yeah, I haven't noticed it at all though. It does feel smoother. I mean, the transmission changes and transmission noise. Engine, always smooth on this thing. Ridiculously smooth, actually. Inline 6, just a piece of art, really. Piece of engineering art. Oh, that torque feels really nice. It's just there when you want it. As much as you want, when you want. It's the only way I can describe it. It's a nice feeling. I mean, we're really low down the rev range. You know, 1,000, 2,000 RPM, the way I'm riding here. And this torque is ridiculous on this thing, even at that low RPM. Gear change? Sure, you can change gear if you want, but the bike doesn't care most of the time. That was the whirring sound I just heard in third, and but it does seem quieter. Ah, that sun. Jeez, gracious. Now I'm going to stop here. There's a porta potty. Temporarily we'll stop the video here. Okay, we are back after making a pit stop here. And let's see, time is 7:17. We've about half an hour to sunset, so let's get moving. The other thing I did recently was I raised the saddle to the highest position. That changed my riding position a little bit. Can't see up there. Nobody coming. No, we're good. I changed my riding position to raise the saddle, and so the bike feels a little different, but it's better for me because, you know, I'm about 6 foot tall and I have a 34-inch inseam, so my legs are quite long for my height. So this does seem, you know, slightly less compressed, a little bit more comfortable, although the bike is extremely comfortable, I should add. But yeah, the sun in my eyes is really blinding me. Okay, and the road surface gets bad up here, so yeah, worth taking it a little easy up here. Yeah, third gear seems to be the one that has the whirring sound. But it is definitely quieter, I think, with this AMSOIL. Has quietened it down slightly. And based on all the research I've done, that is normal for this bike. In case anybody else has one and they're worried about it. Particularly this generation. BMW apparently built quite a bit of beefiness and agriculturalness into the transmission for this big engine, and so for that you get a little bit of you know, extreme, I don't want to say tractor-like, but you know, extreme, that was very pleasant, extreme sensations. It's not the most sophisticated transmission. That is one negative I've noticed on the bike. It's not the most refined and smoothest transmission you're going to find, but yeah, don't get me wrong, it's very smooth. But the transmission on the 800 was definitely slicker and smoother. But then again, of course, it didn't have 160 horsepower either, so I do like the grips, so I don't know what they were like originally, because yeah, this feels like a nice fat cushy soft grip. So the original ones must have been thinner and harder. I'm guessing. I don't want to take them off because he put them on with you know, hot soapy water. The guy looks like he's going to pull out on me. Just being careful. I've been messed around too many times by people pulling out in front of me. I don't want to do it on this bike. Some poor cyclist may have mistimed his ride. I certainly don't like being up here on a bicycle in the dark. And heading in this direction, it's probably going to be dark before he gets back. Unless he lives up here, of course, which is not impossible. People do. So this road is open. And it will allow us to descend. Well, nobody around, so just roll and stop here. Alright, here we go. You can probably see the lights doing weird things off the side of the bike there as I turn to take the curves. If you look to the right, so I'll take this curve kind of slowly so you can see. You see how it lights the roadside there? Headlight swivels to the right. Very clever. And lights up the side of the road there. It's amazing. Very clever. These are the features that they only put on really big bikes for some reason, when everybody could benefit from them. Whether you ride a 1600 or a 60. Just makes the bike safer. Safety ought to be the priority on all bikes. Okay. So yeah, we are almost back at base here. A little later than I had intended, with a few dead moths and flies on our bike.